Springer. We're going to go over some things today regarding APA style. So I know it's the favorite of everyone, but I want to go over some information on it, specifically on in-text citation, because it is so important, and it is something that a lot of students have a little bit of hard time with. So I want to make sure one of my first lecture aspects was going to be on the APA style, because it really is just some easy points. I always hate having to count off for APA because it's kind of a gimme point, really. If you just get that formatting set, those are some easy points. So I want to give you a little hand on that. So we'll go over a little bit of things. So why are we citing? Is because we want to give credit where the credit is due. There are a lot of people who put their hard time and hard work into getting things into publication. I'm in that same boat as well. I want the credit to be given to me when someone uses my info in an actual paper or something like that. So, and also too, when something isn't common knowledge. So, when we're citing things, if it's not common knowledge, if we're deriving it from that resource, if it's a concept that we derive from that, then that's something we're going to want to cite as well. Now, one thing, of course, when we're looking at common knowledge is things like who the president is or when the Declaration of Independence was signed. It's not going to be common knowledge on certain healthcare finance, aspects, things like that, or certain types of payer system mix or use, things like that. So that stuff is all maybe common knowledge within the field, but it's not common knowledge across the board. So when we find those aspects, we got to make sure that we are citing those things if we're getting them from a resource. So in-text citation format. In-text citation usually includes the following information. It's got the author's last name, it's got the publication date, page number, and if it's going to be for an actual quotation or for like a paraphrase, that is going to be required there. The rest of the information about the source is going to be in that reference list. So that citation is kind of a snapshot, a little bit of a preview of, hey, this is the source. The rest of it can be found down in that reference page. So that's what these usually contain. There's a few different ways to cite, so I'm going to go over those as well. Now, the author name and publication year at the end of the sentence. People with bipolar disorder often have lower wages, higher unemployment, work, absenteeism, reliance on workmen's compensation, higher rates of divorce, lower levels of education, attainment, higher arrest rates, and hospitalization. Leahy, 2007. That information was pulled from that source on people with bipolar disorder. So I was writing a paper on that, and I pulled the information from Leahy 2007. You betcha I should be in there citing that. So that's what that is there. That's an example of really just a basic in-text citation, but we're putting it right at the end here. Author's name in the sentence immediately following by the year. This is a little bit of a way to jazz it up a little bit. I know most of you will use this kind of, I would say the easy way, but more of the standard way of APA, and that's perfectly fine. That's great to use, is what we want to see. But you can add some depth to your writing by citing a little bit differently with an APA. It presents it a little more firm, it presents it a little more matter of fact, has a little more strength to it. So, according to Leahy, 2007, people with bipolar disorder often have lower wages, higher unemployment, work absenteeism, reliance on workers' compensation, higher rates of divorce, lower levels of education attainment, higher arrest rates, and yada, 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 as we read up here. So, this is stating, when you start off here, yes, it is factual, but you get to that backup point back here. When you really want to need to make a poignant statement, it's good to cite like this. Because you're saying, you know what, this isn't just an opinion, this isn't just some type of conjecture, this is fact, this is proven, there's research on this. And according to this person, boom, here you go. So that's a nice way to do it. You might want to try that a little bit in, some of your assignments as you move further on throughout the course. Because it does add some depth and it does improve your writing a little bit. In-text citation with quotations. So we have our quote right here, and directly after it we have Highland and the year, and then page 21, meaning that's where that quote is found. So if you have just kind of those simple quotes right there, it's going to go right after it. Author's name and sentence immediately followed by the year, page number immediately following quotation. Again, the same way that we did before on this page right here, right down here, according to Leahy, we're going to do that same thing with that Highland aspect in terms of the quote. So, according to Highland, genres are abstract, blah, blah, blah. Here we go, page 354. So that's the difference. You see right here, we just go Leahy 2007, we're done with it. We have the rest of our information here. This one, not the case, because we got that page number, we got that pesky page number that we're going to have to get in there for that quotation. So it starts off with that source information, according to Highland 2003. As you see up here, we did the simple one, we got the page 21 after it. We're getting a little more complex here, we're getting a little more crazy. We got Highland 2003 here, we got the quote, and then boom, page 354 on that quote. So that's the difference there. You break up those pieces a little bit. So it's kind of a sandwich. It's kind of a quotation sandwich when you go with in the sentence based, based upon just a standard one. So that is something to keep in mind there when you're doing those quotations in terms of in-text citations. They're a little more tricky. Now, this is a handy-dandy little straightforward table on in-text citations, how they should be outlined, things like that. So what we're looking at here is we got your basics. So when you summarize or paraphrase a source, your basic one that most of you are probably really used to using. So you have your Leahy 2007, author's name in the sentence, boom, there's what your quote looks like, basic, for the in-sentence. So this is the basic, this is the in-sentence one. Alright, so this is a little bit more crazy side, this is a little more simple side. So when you quote a source, as we just looked at right here, we got Highland 2003, page 21, getting a little crazy, we got Highland 03, we got our quote right here, and then page 21. So a little bit different way to set that up there. Now, in-text citation with multiple authors. These are always fun. I know they're going to be your favorite here. And often, the documents that we use are going to have multiple authors. So it's good to have these skills here. So 2 authors, pretty simple. Got the basic one. Big thing to point out, we have the and sign in there. So for Hock and Dehaan 2007, we got the and sign right here. Now, if you're going to go the crazy route, put it in the sentence, mix it up a little bit, get a little oomph within your writing, we've got for Hock and Dehaan 2007. Now you notice, big difference here. And is written out. And must be written out in this within the sentence. The basic one, just going to plop it at the end. It's got the and symbol. Something to keep in mind there, because you will lose points for that, and that is something to keep track of there. So 3 to 5 authors. For citation, Zant, Pryor, and Krios, 2006. Okay? Subsequent citation, those citations after this initial one that has them all spelled out here is going to be that Zant et al. 2006. Alright, so this is often confusing to a lot of students. They might start out with Zant et al. 2006, or they might carry this out across the entire paper. It's not how you want to do it. First time, boom, all the other subsequent citations, Zant et al. Okay, so that's one thing to think of there. Say that they're going with the sentence side, we got the Zant Pryor, again, the and is going to be spelled out, and you got the 2006. Not much difference from up here to here. We got the Zant et al. And then the 2006 with the more higher level in terms of the in sentence. Being as stated or based upon Zant et al. That's going to be the difference there versus plopping it at the end there. 6+ authors, fun ones. And there are a lot of documents within science, within medicine, within healthcare that have multiple authors on. Alright, so this may be something that you'll use quite often. With those, you don't worry about that first citation. We're not going to write out all 8 authors on the first time and then go to the subsequent blah 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 et al. We're going to go straight to the et al. We're going to go straight to the easy stuff. So say we have Storch here and say there's 10 other authors after Storch. We're just going to go Storch et al. 2006. We're not going to waste our time getting all those 9 authors out of there. It's going to start off with et al. We're going to be able to find that down the line in the reference page when we're looking for the further information. Same thing with the in sentence. Same as up here. No change right there. Storch et al. 2006. So pretty simple. This may be the easier route when you have those multiple authors to remember six or more. you got right there. So 6 or more, first citation, no more is kind of how I remember it. So I know if there's 6 or more, I don't need that first citation anymore. I go straight to et al. So a little bit of a rhyme for you there. I have those every now and then to remember things. So in-text citations, some other variations. We have our group authors. So we have the University of Pittsburgh. We have the year there at 2007. Author's name, same thing. It's not too complicated. There's not much changing in that, depending upon the first one there too. No author. You see these a lot, especially within the within the course room and that, within the electronic format. You have these sources that are from the university themselves. They may not have an author. So you just have the title there and then the year. Same thing right here. Not much change within there as well. No publication date. Okay, so we will have some of these, especially in the age of the internet. You might have some with no publication date. So these are pretty simple here. You got right here, Bosham N.D. So standing for no date. So we don't have a date for that. Same thing right here. Not much is going to change when you go to that more complicated in-sentence citation there. Multiple pages. So say you're getting the information from multiple pages within that source. Not a problem there. We have a fix for that. G 2005, page 8 through 9. Say it's a block quotation. Say you're quoting an entire paragraph or something in there and it goes over a few pages. That's what you're going to use. If it's page 8, page 9, page 10, you're going to have 8 through 10. Not much difference there. When we go to the in-sentence one, you have your G, the year. This would be where your quote would be. And then this pops right in at the end, pages 8 through 9. All right? No page numbers. So this needs to be for a quote as well. So you might not have a page number, but you always have a paragraph. So Brown, you have the year, para.6. That's meaning paragraph 6. So if I go to that text and I start reading down, I should see that quote in paragraph 6, or that article, whatever it may be. Same thing here, we're going with the in-sentence. We got Brown 2007. Here's my quote. Boom, I got para.6 at the end, meaning paragraph 6. So got your quotation sandwiches there in those. That's how you would do those. Pretty simple, not too bad. Again, this is just a nice way to look at the stuff. So this will be in the course room files for you to go and access. So this is definitely going to be a good tool that you can use throughout this course and through others as well on that there. So we look at this here. We have our basic, we have the 2 primary authors with same last name. This could be kind of confusing. I have this trouble. That's why when I publish, I am LB Springer, because there is another L Springer out there. They are LM Springer. So I publish with LB. So right here we got M Light, L Light. We would just put their first initial within there. And this is their quotation there. That's how you would solve that dilemma. Multiple works by same author in the same year. It's not too much rocket science here, but we got the names here, we got the date, and then A and B. That's all you would use, with A and B after that year. So they're both in 2005, A and B. Multiple works by same author in same citation. So this is kind of a rare one. I've only used this a few times in my writing, where I've had one source that's just been phenomenal. They maybe built some work up throughout maybe a few years period, and I'm using it within one direct sentence. I can put both those years within there. Same thing right here, it's the same information, multiple works by the same author in the same year. I'm pulling that info from that. I wouldn't go quote with that first one. I wouldn't go ahead and block that first one, block that second one. I wouldn't do that. You would put both those years in there. Multiple works by different authors in the same citation. I've never used this one before. It's kind of a rare one. You may use it, so I put it in here. It's kind of one of those ones that you got to thumb through the APA manual for quite some time to find. But here it is. You got your minor, 1999. You have your semicolon there, and you got the other authors here with the year. So it's basically smushing them both together. For the in-sentence route, there is no denoted APA way to do it in sentence. You would have to plop it at the end and do kind of the basic one there. So again, very rare ones right here. You may use them, you may come up on it, who knows, but you have the information right here in a handy dandy tool for you to look it up when you do have that situation. These resources are all from the APA manual, all from the 6th edition manual. So this is a good reference. I took probably with this whole presentation right here, with all these right here, I probably condensed, I'd say about 20 to 30 pages of the APA manual into one little quick PowerPoint for you. So definitely a good tool to use, and to keep this with you throughout your studies and throughout the rest of your education here. So, or if you go to another facility or something like that, and going for a graduate program, whatever, or beyond this, maybe a quick little reference for you. So, again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Feel free to contact the Writing Center, or you can look in your handy dandy APA manual. All right, everyone, take care.